What's up, Angel City? It's your Amanda here with another episode of Angel City Chicks.
Oh,
And here with Nina, of course. I would do this, or I would not expect anyone else to do this at this point in my life. Nina, what is going on? How are you feeling right now?
I've titled this like moan and sadness, and I guess
I mean, doesn't end. It's just on pause until next season because I feel like
there we go.
Are we back?
We're back.
Okay, we're back.
But just barely.
Barely back. Basically, how our playoff hopes were. They were barely there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We
but
had
our
to
Wi-Fi
score
came through.
16 goals were needed today in order for Angel City to advance. And unfortunately, that just wouldn't be the case.
No, we
even
didn't
get
come
one.
close. We didn't even get one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that. But we're gonna talk a little bit about we'll talk about some news and notes and some great things, and then just what's going forward and I guess our plans for what's gonna happen after this.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with some fun news because today was a big day for some of the men's teams in LA.
Yes.
So we want to take a moment to acknowledge that because
Absolutely.
it's very exciting.
Yes.
So we know today that the Galaxy have clinched playoffs.
Yes, last night they won their game.
And
did they win their game or did they tie it? I can't remember. Oh. Yes, they won. They won their game, and so they were able to clinch their playoff spot.
And
so, wait, no, they didn't win. Sorry.
Oh, they tied 1-1.
It was 1-1. They needed to tie or win to clinch a playoff spot, and I think that put them into fourth place. So, I mean, good on them because I know the Galaxy kind of had a little bit of a rough start. So if you're listening and you're a fan of them, I know you're super happy right now. So we're happy for you being happy. But we are also, if you are an LAFC fan, we also have some exciting news as well that just happened. Nina?
Yes, LAFC have officially won the Supporter Shield for the second time. And, you know, we are actually LAFC fans and we were stoked for this. You know, I think it's really hard when you know your team, Angel City being our team, isn't going to advance and isn't going to make playoffs. Yes. And today, I feel like the bright side for us was kind of the men's side of things. You know, I'm still super proud of this first season for us. There was a lot that happened here and a lot of things that this team has done that made this season so exciting and so much fun. And I'm just so proud still of everything that they have accomplished. You know, today our season does end, but there will be stuff coming up. You know, this isn't the last you've heard from Angel City Chicks. We will continue to provide some off-season coverage. We already have our next podcast episode lined up. So
yes, we do.
No need to stress. We will continue to provide you with some Angel City content. You know, we will follow the playoffs as they continue on, but we won't be giving you those game recaps quite the same way.
No, but again, like I said, if you are a fan of the men's team as well, and you are an MLS fan, then you guys have a lot to be excited for. If you're a LA fan in general, whether it's Galaxy or LAFC, the game gets to continue for them. And so congratulations to both sides. Super exciting for LA. I mean, such a sports town. I love this for us.
LA is a huge sports town. Absolutely. And a huge soccer town. And, you know, it's only going to keep growing. But there's some fun league news, too, out there this week, if you want to share with the masses, Panda. I know we are both here sitting on like 2% battery trying to get this podcast out for everyone.
Yes, we are. So I'm going to switch real quick to my phone because I have to put on airplane mode and then like access the cloud for all of our notes that we've had. But real quick, what I want to say is there was a really exciting article that came out and it was talking about how purpose drives value. And what that means is that Angel City, they ranked third for yearly post value per 1,000 fans when compared to top teams globally. And I'm talking about teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, and there are so many others that are in that. And this is just in their first year. So they're setting an example for women's sports and beyond. And it's so exciting to see them doing these things. And I know winning on the pitch is important. And I know we would have loved to see them in the playoffs, but we also need to kind of focus on what they're doing outside of the pitch, because it really is a great thing. And I think when you continue to give back to your community and to the people involved, you're going to see that return to you. And maybe it wasn't this season. I think, though, we did get back a lot more than we put in because of the experiences we had. And I think there's a lot more on the horizon for us. But that is definitely something to kind of encapsulate and to think about, because it's very exciting that they're doing things on a global scale. This is not just a city scale, not just a state, not just a country. This is globally things that we are doing. And it's really great to be mentioned in the same voice as places like Chelsea and Manchester City, because they've been doing what they're doing for so much longer. And this is just our first season. So there's a lot to come in front of us.
Very exciting. And we know going into today's match, it didn't have a huge impact on Angel City. We weren't mathematically eliminated from playoffs quite yet. We would have had to win by 16 goals in order to make the playoffs. But this was a big game for Chicago, because with Chicago winning today, they actually are advancing to playoffs and knocking out NC Courage. So kudos to them. Congratulations. Unfortunately, San Diego Wave unable to do what they needed to do last Friday against the Courage.
Remember what I said on the podcast? How much? Do you think they really tried?
No.
I didn't actually watch the game. Do you think they really tried against NC Courage? Like, do you think there's any little part, and like, DM us, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think there's little part of us who are like, you know what? We just tie them, we just coast this out, then that just means our neighbors right up top aren't going to join us in the playoffs. And I mean,
whatever.
I hate that. So, of course, Carolina was kind of riding a high because they're like, hey, we're in. But
sucks for you.
Today, we kind of spoiled their party. And I honestly...
By losing.
Yeah, by losing. We spoiled their party. And I would love to know everybody's thoughts on this. Please, like, hit us up, tag us, let us know your thoughts. Did you want, going into today, knowing that it was going to be very, very hard for us to score 16 goals? I don't even know what the record is, but I doubt it's even close to that.
I asked the bartender. It was a game against, now I forgot.
Okay.
We took shots for the shots.
Oh my God.
It was, I think he said 51. It was a protest thing, though. It wasn't like,
oh, stop.
Normal. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on past that. But I would love to know everyone's thoughts on going into today's matchup. If it wasn't going to be us, did we want Courage in?
No, if we can't play, nobody gets to play.
Or did we want Chicago?
Cancel it all.
That's not going to be the case. Someone was going to
cancel
make
it all.
And I would love to know what everybody's thoughts were. Was it going to be Chicago who spoiled our party? Or no. Courage who spoiled our party? Or was it going to be Chicago who would have to beat us?
Cancel it all.
Like, I don't like
there is no postseason
by a team and going to the playoffs, but I also don't like another team not doing much.
There is no postseason.
Making it into the playoffs.
All right, let's get into this game, because even though it was a game that really for us didn't mean much, it was an exciting game based on, a little switch up we had between the poles on the back line there. I think that made it a little interesting. But going into the match, we knew that the starting lineup for Chicago Red Stars, they had, of course, in goal, number 1, Alyssa Nair, number 23, Tatum Milazzo, number 31, Amanda Kolowski, number 3, Erin Wright, and number 13, Morgan Garat, all on defense. And then number 24, Danny Caparico, number 10, Vanessa DiBriano, number 5, Rachel Hill in the midfield. And then up top, number 7, Yuki Nagasato, number 9, Mallory Pugh, and number 11, Sarah Lubert.
Now, Mallory Pugh, she was out the last time we played in Chicago, or against Chicago at home, wasn't she?
She was, and she's good. I always pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. She might have pew-pewed one goal today, and we'll talk about that. But let's talk about Angel City, because this is kind of interesting. Shall I talk about the lineup or the availability report?
Let's go for the availability report. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Set me up. Tee me up.
All right, I'm going to tee you up. So, availability report. Of course, we've got Kristen Press, Sydney LaRue, and Sarah Gordon out. No surprise on those. That's been kind of the problem all season. We've talked about this a lot, how injuries have definitely plagued our star players.
Go ahead. Tell me the other part.
Speaking of star players, we also have Claire Emsley listed as excused absence.
That's what I put in for work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I put in for next Monday following a home game that we're gonna have in the MLS.
Yeah,
I need my supervisor to say it's okay if you don't show up, and apparently that's what she got today.
Yeah, it's so weird because those in normal jobs, but when I look at Chris is stealing my beer. Chris Lafferty in the room with us today. Give it up for Chris, good friend of the pod for us and the boys.
Big fan of the team and us, and I love that.
Yeah, so he's trying to make my beer not in the picture, and it's very sweet of him.
I know, I love that for you.
But yeah, excused absences. It's like my parents had to write a note for me to get out of school. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand. I say I don't understand, but I kind of understand. I mean,
oh yeah,
national team duty. She's big with Scotland, and yeah, it's very important right now that she's healthy and with that. And on a game that is almost impossible to make a difference in,
you don't want to risk an injury.
You
don't need the tiredness, especially considering the fact that she's going to be flying overseas. For all we know, she's already gone. This could have been pre-negotiated. Like, they could have said in her contract, like, if Angel City doesn't have a shot at the playoffs, you leave as soon as we're mathematically eliminated. That could have been in the negotiations. We don't know.
I don't know, to be honest, if it would have even made a difference at this point. So good on her for having some time, and maybe she's able to spend it with her family. Our focus is definitely going to be on next season, and I hope she's a big part of that because I do like what she does out on the pitch. I think she's exciting to watch. I think she's a playmaker, and I think she's a goal scorer, and having a little more time in the off season to really gel with what we have, I think is really going to be important. So
yeah,
good on her. Definitely going to be watching her in the World Cup when it comes around for the women, because I think she's going to be exciting to watch. And I definitely have Scottish blood in my my genetics. So
I thought you were going to say you have Scotch in your blood.
Scotch in my blood.
After today's game, you might have wanted Scotch in your blood.
I had more tequila. I was much more Mexican today than I was Scottish, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to get through.
There's still time.
I can turn Scottish before midnight. Let's see. It's better than turning into a pumpkin, I suppose.
All right, give me the starting lineup. Let's get into this game because
all right. Well, we definitely had a big change in our lineup than we're used to. Usually I start these games by saying, of course, in goal, we have Didi Haracic, and I can't say that today. We had Almost Schultz. It's her first start, right?
Yeah, first start for us, and
we'll talk about that.
I mean,
we'll talk about that.
Not
okay. Nope. We're not there yet. We had Almost Schultz in goal, and then on our back line we had Paige Nielsen, Megan Reed, Allie Riley with the captain's armband, and Jasmine Spencer. In the midfield, we had Clarice Lebion, Carrie Riccaro, and Danny Weatherholt, and then up top we had Simone Charlie, June Endo, and Savannah McCaskill.
All right.
So that's how it started. Definitely didn't end that way.
Yeah, and it's an exciting game because this was actually Charlie's 50th NWSL appearance, and super happy for her on that. Love that for her.
I do love that for her. She's a dynamic player. She's a lot of fun. I question a lot of times if we're using her properly, but she did get the start. So
she did, which is exciting. And you want to dive into this match? Should we get into it?
My odd or evens. We didn't determine that yet.
I know, right? I'm odd.
You're odd?
I'm the weird one.
You're definitely odd. Is 0 odd or even?
Oh my God, 0 is neither. Did you not go to elementary school? God, 0 is neither odd nor even.
So if I start this off, you're going to take it away from me immediately. But I'll do that. We're going to see Chicago. They're going to kick off this matchup. And in the 6th minute, we're going to get a direct free kick awarded to Chicago. But we're going to get our save from Almuth.
Yeah, and then in the 10th minute, McCaskill passes to Endo. But Endo is actually dispossessed. And then in the 13th minute, Almuth comes up big with a save from a shot a few yards away after Weatherholt had the ball taken from her. In the 14th minute, McCaskill takes a shot from an angle, and that ball is just tipped wide by Nair.
And then in the 27th minute, we're going to see McCaskill. She's going to take another shot, and it's going to go just wide. And then in the 29th minute, Spencer, she's going to cross it in again to McCaskill, who tries to chest it in, but Nair is there.
Oh, I like that chesting in action, though. Like, whatever body part it takes to put it in the back of the net, get at it. And honestly, McCaskill
Except her hands.
Unless there's no VAR.
Hand
Use
of
your
God.
hand. Use your hand. I don't care.
Use your
There's
hand.
no VAR.
Listen,
next season, no hands.
If it
this
was
season, use your hand.
If it was the rest in the LAFC game, Portland handballed it, they wouldn't have seen that.
No, even on the VAR.
Even on the VAR. So.
All right. But, McCaskill came out of this match really firing, in my opinion. I felt like she was hungry. I felt like she was not carrying the team on her back, but bringing the energy for the team.
For sure.
And I can only, I can't imagine what it's like to go into a match knowing it means nothing except for your record. Like, it goes against your record, obviously. It goes against your head-to-head and things like that. But
it does, but it's definitely a different feeling going into a match where it does matter, because it really didn't. And that's unfortunate.
I feel like when Louisville did this to us, because the last time we played Louisville, they had nothing to gain from playing it, but they came in and they played without fear. They played some of their subs. We played like our starting lineup, who have really nothing to gain, nothing to prove other than continuing a record. But I feel like it just wasn't quite the same here.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a different feeling. I mean, I don't know. It's funny because even on Chicago's side, I didn't feel like they were playing to win either.
They really came out.
They're
tired.
very flat, very tired. So I don't know.
Anyways, that takes us into the 38th minute when Spencer has a try, and that's deflected to Recaro, but that is also blocked. And then in the 43rd, Recaro takes a kick and to the gut, and she actually drops down to the ground. It definitely knocks her out, and we get a drop ball to restart on that one.
Yeah, that didn't look great. We weren't really sure what happened. In the replay, it looked like, she definitely took a karate chop to her gut, which can't feel good, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get 2 minutes to stoppage time. 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes, right, Nina?
I mean, that's what they put up, and that's what they said. But
apparently
math is hard. Counting is hard. Time is relevant. And
apparently
I think
Spencer's hit that she took.
Okay, if dog years are
minutes,
are these like
time?
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. It was dog minutes.
I don't know, but I know Spencer, she took a hit, and she kind of took a hit and it pushed her into Reed. So it was kind of like friendly fire, if you will, but that definitely took her out into like a concussion protocol kind of state. And unfortunately that just extended the time at some point. And I think that what did it for us. There was a lot of waiting around and staying around and seeing how she felt. There's a lot of playing without her. And then we see in the 45th plus 4 minute, so 49, so 2 minutes passed when stoppage time was supposed to end. We see Lucy subbed in.
You did it again.
Spencer.
You pulled a Nina.
What'd I do?
You skipped the part. You totally pulled a Nina. You skipped the 45th plus 3rd minute.
I didn't want it to exist.
This is the second time in a row you've totally pulled a Nina and ignored when the other team scores.
Dang it.
I think it's now a panda.
Oh, it's called a panda. It's not a Nina anymore. All right. So Lucy had subbed in for Spencer, but let's talk about what happened right before that, because I was trying to ignore it. But I guess
you can't try hard.
You can't erase things from history by just eliminating them.
Disagree.
Nope. We're trying to do that.
Plenty of people, like white males, that would beg to differ.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there that are trying to get rid of stuff.
And like not in a good way, let's be honest here. Like
I don't know, that's like white males. They're trying to get rid of things that
this is true.
Happened in history.
We'll call it people with power.
People with power want to eliminate things that happened so that we can't acknowledge them. So
and we will not be them.
Do that. So let's talk about what happened in the 45th plus 3 minutes. So 1 minute before Lucy came in, and this is while Spencer, I think, was Spencer off the pitch at this point still?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in full concussion protocol, not even like standing close to the line, like ready to sub in, but like a full 3 yards back, like not okay. Like she, you could see it on her because Spencer wants to go, and you could see just watching her on the sideline. She's like, I'm not okay.
She was not okay. She wasn't even trying to get in. And in the 45th plus 3 minute, of course, we're going to see Mallory Pugh. She's going to play the ball up and she's going to run it all the way in, puts it past a diving Almuth, and that is going to be a goal. It's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Chicago Red Stars. And that is just not the way we want to go into the half.
Womp, womp.
I don't have the womp womp thing here.
I have a womp womp.
You can make your own womp womp thing. So again, and then shortly after that, like we said, Spencer was off the pitch and Lucy's going to come in as a sub. What's the point of that at that point?
Just to not be down another person as the referee lets 2 minutes of stoppage time become 4 minutes.
Yeah. So not cool.
Not cool, Verizon Wireless stoppage time.
Everything's sponsored in this game, isn't it? All right, so that's halftime. It is 1-0. Chicago is up, and at this point, yeah, that just means that they are going to advance to the playoffs if this result holds. So let's talk about the second half and what happens. Nothing. Anyways, not for us. Anyways, 47th minute, we're going to see Almuth. She has the ball at her feet and dribbling it around, and Red Stars, they're pressuring her, and she just gives the ball up, and thankfully the ball goes over. But
she should have given up a corner kick. She should have just put it out. She was right there on the goal line. I know it all worked out, and I credit Almuth for staying calm under this pressure situation because she definitely took her time and she seemed to have control over the situation. But I would have rather see her just put it out for the corner kick, and instead she tried to control it. It gets taken away, and
it's just dangerous. I mean, if it had been a situation where every minute and every play counts, and we really did, I mean, that would have been nerve-wracking at the very least. And it was kind of, I don't know, it was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, at some point you're playing a little bit fearless because there's nothing to lose. So you're just doing things, you're trying things to see like what can you get away with, what's going to work. Like, let's just this as a training opportunity, I guess. But it's still, I don't enjoy that. And I don't know. Not 100% okay with all that. I mean, everything comes back to WWDD.
What would Dee
do?
Aww.
What would Dee do in that situation? Would she have done the same thing? I mean, she's been such a clutch player for us, and literally the thing that I think kept us in this playoff hunt for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That I wonder. But
yeah,
I don't know. We will never know.
We will never know.
Anyways.
In the 52nd minute, Chicago has a shot from the top of the goal box, and Almuth actually saves this one, but she actually doesn't catch it. She deflects it, and I get it. It's a close shot, which is really difficult, but that actually gives Chicago a follow-up opportunity, which is fortunately shot off frame. In the 54th minute, Riley does a really good job to push Hill wide, and that shot actually goes over the crossbar. In the 57th minute, Charlie is tripped, and it's a PK for Angel City. That foul called on Milano, and it's McCaskill to step up and take the PK. This is a redo opportunity for McCaskill. We know the last time that she stepped up for a PK, it did not go so well. And unfortunately,
this one went worse.
I didn't think it could get worse. And my heart kind of breaks for her because McCaskill is such a sweetheart. She's so good at what she does. She came out with so much fire in this game, and this could have been a huge momentum changer. But unfortunately, McCaskill's shot hits the post and trickles out.
Yeah, didn't even need to be saved because it wasn't even on target, unfortunately. And at that point, I would love to have known. Again, who else do we have step up for these PKs?
Riley or Endo? That's my answer.
Would you like to see Charlie take a PK?
I think my silence speaks.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it.
These
but
are me asking questions.
My go-to would have been Riley and then Endo.
Okay.
And it's something about like a composure. I feel like Charlie is still kind of like a wild stallion. She's got tons of energy. She brings it. Yeah, she's incredible at creating space and taking time and making things happen in high pressure situations. But I haven't seen her take enough set pieces for me to say she's the one I want. Whereas I feel like Endo and Riley, honey,
you're the one that I want.
You are the one I want. Ooh, 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 the one I need.
Not her,
yes,
though.
Indeed.
But it would have been fun to see Endo go up there and take it. Like, what do you have to lose at this point? Like, let's just see something else. Let's see something different and see what happens. But unfortunately, yes, you're correct. McCaskill went up took the shot, and it didn't. There could have been no keeper in the box, and that shot wouldn't have gone in. That's how bad it was.
Oh,
I know.
It was only like inches.
No, but I'm just saying the post pushed it out.
I sad for her.
Womp 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 is where you come in with that. Anyways, moving on. In the 62nd minute, we're going to see Endo have a try, but it is just wide. It's a great shot considering she has to fight off 3 defenders for that. And then in the 64th minute, Endo is down after a really dirty foul. Calaprico, is that how we say her name?
I think so.
I think so. She got the ball, but that's a foul. And if we had VAR, it might have been turned into yellow.
It might have been turned into a red. That was dirty.
It was
dirty.
It was dirty.
Like, I get it. You get the ball, but she came in, and this is where we say again, when we talk about fouls and things like that, it is careless for a direct free kick, reckless for a yellow card, and excessive force for a red. And that, my friend, was pure excessive force. She came in cleats up right at Endo, and thankfully shin guards for the win. But holy hell, rude.
Very rude. Take your card and move on is what we should have said. But
that no card because no VAR.
Yeah, because VAR is definitely not there. But again, well, we've said VAR today didn't really come to anyone's rescue. But we're not going to dive into that.
But that takes us into the 70th minute. In the 74th, Vignola comes in for Endo. In the 75th, Lebion earns a yellow card. And then in the 77th, Nagasato takes the ball, and she's able to dribble past Reed, and she patiently takes her shot, and it's a goal. Red Stars go up 2-0.
Wow. Who saw this? And again, I don't know.
Beautiful. That's technical. That's brilliant dribbling. And she was the one who scored against us, or I don't know if she scored against us, but had an incredible game against us back when we played at home. And I just remember watching her and thinking, this is somebody else who's very technically sound, who I would love to watch more. And unfortunately, she let me watch her.
You got to see her.
She
showed us what she could do.
Yeah. In the 79th minute, Hammond comes in for Lebion, and the clock is winding down.
Yeah. In the 86th minute, we're going to see Chicago. They're going to take another shot, and it's going to be saved by Almuth. In the 88th minute, Pugh, she's coming out. Stevens is in. We're also going to see Riley sub out. We're going to see Hope Breslin come in.
And that takes us to the 90th as we begin to truly tick down the minutes of our season. And Chicago make another sub, and then 3 minutes of stoppage time. But that is it. Angel City close out the season. Chicago move into the playoffs. And that's just how the game ends. You know, it's been a wild ride, but there we go.
I mean, it has been a wild ride. It's been fast. It's crazy that we're here talking about the end of the season. It doesn't feel great because there are definitely some times during the season where I felt like playoffs were inevitable. Like, we could definitely do this. But we are also plagued by a ton of injuries that just didn't help us. We really did not have anything to step into the losses that we had.
Yeah.
We really did. And the things we had that stepped in got hurt too. I mean, you look at Press getting hurt. We got Sydney Leroux, who gets hurt. And then we've got, of course, Vanessa Gilles, who never really was, fit once she came back from Canada.
Yeah.
Spencer out for a good part of the season in the beginning. Sarah Gordon out the whole season. It was just really kind of unfortunate. It wasn't great. And I do feel like they did a great job considering that, because
absolutely,
you take a team
down.
like San Diego, who everyone wants to compare us to. And I'm like, what did they have to suffer through?
Nothing.
You know?
Not having their stadium open.
Right. And then having to deal with some BS fan stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, when we look at the stats for this game, it's one of the times where it seems like the team that had the better stat line won. Chicago taking 14 shots to our 7 of theirs on target to our 1. Possession just about even. Pass accuracy same, but they had 7 fouls to our 20 and 1 yellow card to our 2. Offside about equal, 1 offside for them, 2 for us, 4 corners for them, 3 for us. But really, I mean, in this instance, I feel like the better team won. As much as it seemed like they came out not necessarily wanting it in the beginning, it's one of those things where towards the end, the
I mean, it
The
is
di-
what happened.
What falls? The dominoes fall? No. Things fall where they may. I don't know what the saying is. Chips fall. The chips
The
fell.
chips
Thank
fall.
you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
The chips
who's
fell.
off camera, who's helping us get through this because it hurts so much.
The emotional support dogs left already. We needed more.
Yes, we did have 2 emotional support German
Now we only
Shepherds
have
here.
emotional support beer.
We have emotional support beer and emotional support Chris at this point.
I mean, JR and Christian are here too, but we kicked them out.
We kicked them out.
Yeah.
But either way, let's just talk about the final playoff picture and what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So we know, let's reiterate because we said this on the last episode, but this was the final game of the regular season. So at this point, standings are officially locked in.
So let's talk about the supporter shield.
Meh.
4.
Whatever.
In WSL, which kind of crazy because I don't feel like we've talked a lot about them at the top of the table. It was all San Diego, Portland.
Mm-hmm.
OL Reign came in and just whoop. They're like, hey guys, we're here still.
Sorry,
cool.
our shield.
We got some great players and we're gonna do things when it matters. And
they did.
Yeah, and they did. And shout out to Nick Pereira, who's GM of them. We know him really well. I'm heavily involved in the indoor soccer game, and he is phenomenal within that. So shout out to them. Congratulations. They ended up the season with 40 points.
And making me really happy the fact that San Diego Wave did not end up in the top 2.
They did not.
Because if I'm not happy, no one's happy.
So what does that mean? I mean, looking at this, you've got the top 2 that are blue. OL Reign, Portland Thorns are 1 and 2.
This is going to go into that playoff picture because 3 is going to play 6, 4 is going to play 5, and then the winners of that will play 1 and 2, and then those will advance as well.
So 1 and 2 get a bye.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So 1 and 2 get a bye, and the rest have to play their way into it and to advance. But we've got OL Reign, Portland Thorns, San Diego Wave, then Houston Dash, Kansas City Current, and Chicago Red Stars. So Carolina, you knocked us out with your lackluster effort and tie against the Wave, but you get to party at home and watch just like we do.
Yeah, and I mean, if things hold the way they are, San Diego Wave will be playing Kansas City. And they're playing Chicago. Oh my God.
I was like, why wouldn't they hold the way they are? We're done. We're done. Nina.
I'm going home.
Nina, go home.
I'm going
We're
home.
done. Everyone is done playing. This is how it's going to be.
I literally just said that.
It's going to be Wave and Chicago.
On October 16th.
Dash and Current.
Don't know the date. Sorry.
And then the winners of those will go on to play Reign and Thorns.
Okay, I do know the last time the Wave and Chicago played each other, Wave came up with a red card, but they still won 1-0.
Okay, Dash and Kansas City.
I can't Google that fast.
It's
been a very long day. It's my anniversary weekend, and I wanted more wins.
Happy anniversary. Hey, we got a big one.
Yeah, but I didn't get this one.
I know. This one would have meant a lot. I think at the end of the day, so I remember at the beginning of the season, I said, what would be a successful season for Angel City?
What did you say? Because I remember what I said.
Well, what I had said is just to show growth. Because I remember how we were.
You and I were on the same level then, because I said a fun season will be a win.
I said growth. I said looking at how we started in the, what's that Fugazi Cup thing we play in?
Challenge
Cup. Sorry.
I hope you're watching us on YouTube right now. The Fugazi Cup.
Yeah, whatever. The fake cup. That's weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, who drank less during the off season is ready to go now. But I think seeing how we played then and were able to progress and get a little more cohesive, I think I would have made that a successful season. But I'll be honest, it's really hard to judge just because of the sheer fact that we just had so many injuries, and what we looked like in the beginning and what we liked at the end, vastly different because we had to shuffle so much around. So I think for us, a successful season really started in the stands, and the fact that we sold out so many stadiums and we have such a huge fan support for this team, I think that's successful in its own right. We've set, records this season with NWSL and attendance. And I just think at the end of the day, I think everybody just needs to take a deep breath, think about everything, and know that these girls played their hearts out. And next season, I think it's going to look vastly different. I think if we can get the players that we should have had this season playing and starting and get that cohesiveness from the beginning, I think we're going to see a different team.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a fun season. And I think when we come back next season, we are going to be incredibly stronger. Like, no one knows who we are yet. That's the thing. They think they know. They think they saw us this season. But the fact is, we had so many people out. No one knows who we really are at this point. This is literally our world, and everyone else is just living in it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
We didn't ever have, I feel like, a true identity, meaning I don't know that we started consecutive games with all the same lineup. And I feel like that's really important for really good teams. They do that a lot. Unfortunately, we had to shuffle people. We had to start people in positions they're not normally playing in. And the offseason is going to be a really big time for reflection to find out who Angel City is, what the players are, who they are, and where they really fit in to this model. I'm going to ask a very controversial question.
Ooh, I like controversy.
Is Freya the right coach for us?
Oh God, you're putting me on the spot.
Woo! Wow, did you take a shot just now? What are your thoughts?
I think Freya is amazing. I love
Great
Freya.
Coach. Sure.
I think she's a great coach.
Do you think the injuries are what plagued us?
I want to
more
see
than her
Freya
coaching?
with a full team. That's what I want to say here. Like, I think she was dealt a really rough hand, and I don't know how I would have handled it, but I question things like not seeing Allison Swaby much. Like, I know
she's a Jamaican national team player, and why is she
good.
riding the bench? I mean, she didn't even sub in that much. Like, I have lots of questions. We're not in practice. We're not there. We don't see training. So it's hard for me to sit back and say, well, you should have done this or you should have done that. I mean, but I do have questions like why? Answer my questions and we'll know. Why were they so secretive about LaRue and her injury for so long? Like, you tell us she has an illness and then she shows up in a cast. Like, stop. Like,
that is frustrating, especially with a team that we as the fans have put so much on the line for, and that we say we have these relationships and things like that. It's difficult and it's hard. But yeah, I want to see what Freya can do when she has a full team. If she continues to do things like putting Spencer, Lucy, and Endo last game on the back line instead of Swaby, that makes me question things. But there's obviously stuff that I don't know. I mean,
I'll never say, well, this is what she should have done. Because again, I don't know. But I'm going to ask questions like, why didn't she do this? I want to know. So yeah, I think Swaby would be a great one to see more of in that back line. Curious to see what Vanessa Gilles' fate is. Like, do we get her back mid-season?
I want her back in.
I know you want her back now, but I don't know how that's going to work. But
whatever.
Either way.
Whatever.
Guys.
All right.
This has been a fun season. No matter
I got
how
a
you
quote.
Look at it.
You know me. I got my quote for you all.
Absolutely.
And we haven't had the press conference yet, so we haven't gotten the official team quotes from the match. But I feel like this one is relevant because it comes from Mia Hamm.
Okay.
And not to say that this season was a failure, but Mia Hamm says, failure happens all the time. It happens every day in practice. What makes you better is how you react to it. And I think this team comes out stronger. I think this team comes out harder to start next season. And I think our community is so solid that no one can mess with us. And that's what I'm going to leave this as.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said, not a failure of a season by far, but we did fail to make the playoffs, which I think was a huge goal. So we take that and we process it and we move on. I mean, you only come stronger from this. I mean, there are no we don't lose in life. We only learn.
Hey, that's a pandaism.
Pandaism. We don't lose, we learn. So.
All right, everybody. You know how we like to sign off? Bye. And here's our fluff.
It's so much easier when we're not
when our buys aren't like off kilter.
I love that everyone could see you count that down too.
I was right here.
Hey.
Go.
Yes. So
I don't know why I totally forgot that the camera's right there for some reason. And so when I kept thinking, oh, the camera's on the laptop.
Oh.
Right? So when I went over to move the thing, I was like, it didn't occur until like 5 minutes later.
That's fun.
That's so funny.
It's all good. Because this is mainly a podcast. But hey, if you're on the YouTubes, you might have seen an arm.
Hey, arms.
Like
Oi.
I wanted to get just great shots of the two of you like still shots.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's
let
take
us-
some shots.
Can you
All right, we're going
direct
to end
us?
this on the YouTube and stay tuned. We have tons more coming
Oh,
for
yes.
everyone.
This is not
Lots
the
of Angel
end.
City content still to come because this is our community. This is our fan base, and you can expect some great off-season content from us coming up soon.
Yes. Any breaking news that we're able to like squeeze out of anybody that we know, we will bring it to you. So stay tuned.
Hey.